In this video, we're going to take a look at the Parker Jotter. So let's jump straight to the end with my thoughts on this pen. This is another one of those special pens that I bought for a special reason. At the time I purchased this pen, I could only get the Pelikan Edelstein Garnet in cartridges as they were being found. This was before they had re-released Garnet as an ink, which I promptly stocked up on. But I don't regret having gotten it just to use those cartridges, because I still do really enjoy this pen. Now, that being said, I find it fairly easy to clean and comfortable in the hand. I would at this point actually prefer to have the M200 over it because I find their pistons are so good. So with that, if I could get this same pen, probably with a fine nib because I have a medium that I'm using, then I would be willing to pick it up. I just need it to be a black pen because that's primarily what I enjoy. I do know they put them out every year with their special edition inks, and they tend to be very nice. So this is the P200, not the M200. I find it very worthwhile to look at. It is a bit cheaper than the M200, which elevates it in that it's very nice and inexpensive to get a hold of. I still like using this pen a lot. Now that we know how I feel about the Pelikan P200, let's see how I got to that opinion, starting with the unboxing. My Pelikan P200 didn't come in a box, but came in some simple bubble wrapping, as it was a second-hand sale. As I said, I got this pen second-hand, and as long as a pen is taken care of, when you purchase it second-hand, you have nothing to worry about. The truth is, a lot of fountain pen users take good care of their pens. So when you're dealing with a more modern pen, I don't find secondhand to be a scary thing, but secondhand can be the best hand. With the pen out of the box, we need to get to the nib. And as long as it doesn't take 20 turns to uncap a pen, I'm generally okay. But how many turns does it take to uncap this pen? The Pelikan P200 takes 1 turn to uncap. With it being only 1 turn to uncap, it is really good for all of those note-taking situations. It doesn't make any noise when uncapping and get that weird kind of squeaky noise. So I don't have any kind of problem with it. I like how easily it uncaps. This gets us to the nib. This pen has a steel medium nib. This doesn't have the beautiful scroll work that appears on their higher end models in the Souverain series, but I'm kind of okay with that because I was happy to try their steel nibs out, and I have found their steel nibs feel quite a bit softer when writing than a bunch of other companies, and I enjoy a soft nib. Now, let's ink this pen up. The Pelikan P200 is a standard international cartridge or converter pen that holds approximately 0.7 milliliters of ink. The ink for today is Sailor Silent Night. Even though it takes Standard International, and I probably could have put a generic Standard International converter into it, I chose to get a Pelikan branded one. And this had nothing to do with a brand loyalty, but I have found that the Standard Internationals made by a pen company that makes quality pens, they usually make good quality converters. And that would be my recommendation for Standard International converters, is go with a pen manufacturer. As a habit, I don't normally post my pens, but some people prefer to post their pens, and some pens need to be posted in order to be used comfortably. This pen posts very easily, nice, deep, and secure. Feels nice in the hand there, comes plenty far back, not too far. Unposted, it is long enough to use without any kind of real difficulty. It's another one, it's a psychological thing. When it's a thinner pen, I tend to post. If you enjoy videos like this, then be sure to hit the subscribe button. Now, the important part, the writing sample. As a pen, I find it a bit thinner to use than is my normal preference, but it doesn't stop me from using this pen quite frequently in my own writing away from the reviews. So with that, I can say that I definitely enjoy its writing experience. Now, you will notice occasionally through the writing samples where it skips just a little bit. I think whoever had this pen before tried to smooth the nib just a little bit, because when I look at the nib under a loupe, I do see some remnants of some work. So I believe that somebody over smoothed it a little bit, giving it a little bit of baby's bottom. Now, I can easily go in and fix it, and haven't, mostly because I'm lazy. But I find that the minor amount of skipping from the baby's bottom that occurs at the beginning of the writing isn't a problem for me. I don't know of their nibs really having baby's bottoms problem in a medium, which is what this one is. It is a very smooth writing experience the whole way through. There's really no feedback at all in this nib. But again, I'm not dealing with their factory nib, I don't think. I believe it's been worked. But regardless, that soft feeling was not something I was expecting from this smaller steel nib. It really gives a little bit of a bounce to the writing that I find very pleasant. And with the slightest bit of pressure, not trying to create flex, but just normal pressure in writing, it does give a nice line variation, which I enjoy from a pen as much as I enjoy shading from an ink. And the two of them together are fantastic. Now, we're really not seeing that with this ink, but with other inks, it really does stand out very well, and I have found that this pen can really bring out the shading in an ink, and I think it's because of that soft nib and its natural bounce while writing. Though most people don't refer to this as having a soft nib, I'm comparing it to some other smaller pens I have, and it's definitely much softer a feel to write. Very enjoyable. Now for something a bit more standard in comparing writing size. I use Mnemosyne Blue to do this, and here's how it compares to a Jowo Extra Fine on the left, a medium in the middle, and a 1.1 stub on the right. In general, while writing with this, and Pelikan could have generally broader nibs than what is printed on their nib, I do find this one writes as a medium opposed to towards a broad. It seems to write as a true medium for me. So I like that I don't have very many medium pens, and this is the one I enjoy using the most with a medium nib. So how does it compare in writing size to other nibs I've used? Looking at the writing of a Pelikan P200 with a medium nib. Here it is next to a Visconti Van Gogh with a medium, a Pierre Cardin President with a medium, a Pilot E95S with a medium nib, a Cross Bailey with a medium nib, and a Pelikan M1000 with a fine nib. So it isn't a review without some size comparison. Here it is capped, here it is uncapped, and here it is posted. This is a smaller pen when you look at it, and that's not too bad in that it goes into your pocket nice and deep. It also doesn't stand out and scream for attention when you do take this pen out at a meeting or in general to just write things down. So having a more human-sized pen, what people are used to, can be nice when you don't want unwanted attention. At this point, we have a dirty pen that we need to go ahead and clean. Be sure to check out the next pen review when we take a look at the Jinhao 51A. If you want to be able to support not just my channel, but any reviewer, then when you make a purchase, be sure to tell that retailer where you heard about it. Thanks for watching.